Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. We are breaking down the exact math, the human psychology, and the immense resilience behind MrBeast's astronomical success. Seriously, we're going to dig right into the raw data and the brilliant strategies that built this absolute empire. Let's get right to it. I mean, think about it for a second. How did a 13-year-old boy, who was quite literally terrified to speak 2 words in public, manage to build a billion-dollar empire? Back in 2012, Jimmy Donaldson, or Jimmy to his friends, was so extremely introverted that when he was out on the baseball field, he would actually pull his cap low over his face just to avoid interacting with people. And today, he is the undisputed king of YouTube. So let's map out the hero's journey of how that incredible, extreme contrast actually became a reality. Section 1. The Shy Boy's Obsession and Turning Limitations into Legendary Focus. Okay, let's dive into this early timeline. Growing up, Jimmy faced some real challenges, including his parents' divorce in 2007, which, left him with a lot of time alone at home. He really needed an escape. But more importantly, from a very early age, he showed a fiercely obsessive personality. Like once he locked onto something, he absolutely could not let it go. Now, initially, that hyper-focus was on baseball. But by age 10, he was retreating to his room and he discovered YouTube. He started watching gamers like Woody's Gamertag and suddenly realized, wait, this could be an actual career. So he and his new best friend, Chris Tyson, would just obsess over the platform constantly. By 2012, at age 12 going on 13, under the handle MrBeast 6000, he started making his own content. But then, in 2013, a massive hurdle hit him out of nowhere. At just 15 years old, Jimmy started losing weight incredibly fast and was dealing with severe abdominal pain. He was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is a very serious condition. This devastating diagnosis completely ended his beloved baseball dreams forever. But in this really strange twist of fate, that massive loss essentially forced him to channel his fiercely obsessive personality entirely into YouTube. He went all in. I'm talking filming in his room with a 480p Windows phone and editing on his brother's ancient laptop, literally saving up dollar by dollar just to buy a cheap microphone and some basic lights. Section 2, Cracking the Viral Cycle, and the Psychology of Extreme Effort and Philanthropy. So by 2015, a 17-year-old Jimmy was facing a tough ultimatum from his mom: either go to college or move out. He pretended to go to classes, but secretly, he used all that time to make videos. He realized that to really succeed, he needed to apply extreme, almost unbelievable effort. So he sat down, turned on the camera, and counted from 1 to 100,000. It took him 40 straight hours. But guess what? It pulled in 5 million views in its first 5 days. That realization of extreme effort led directly to his big turning point in 2017. He hit 1 million subscribers and landed his very first brand deal from an app called Quid. They offered him $5,000. But Jimmy being Jimmy, he countered and negotiated that up to $10,000. He then walked outside and gave every single penny of it to a homeless man while Chris filmed the reaction. Now, what's really interesting here is the psychology behind it. This single act triggered a psychological engine known as the warm glow effect. It's that powerful, positive emotional rush you get as a viewer when you see acts of charity or good fortune happening to someone else. Jimmy brilliantly weaponized this effect for good. He sparked an irresistible viral cycle where he'd take the money from one video and just give it all away in the next. He gave $10,000 to a pizza delivery man, $10,000 to multiple Twitch streamers, and even $100,000 to his own mother to pay off her home loan. And the idea spread like wildfire. By 2018, this unstoppable cycle pushed him to 3 million subscribers, and he dramatically escalated the stakes. We're talking investing thousands of dollars into just insane stunts, constructing massive cardboard mansions, driving a real tank, staying underwater for 24 hours, and keeping your hand on a Lamborghini to win it. But crucially, he also introduced a returning cast of friends, guys like Chandler, Carl, and Nolan. By doing this, he wasn't just showing off crazy stunts anymore. He was building incredibly strong emotional connections between his audience and his crew. Section 3. The Science of the Click, Hacking the Human Brain Through Thumbnails. Of course, all of those amazing videos mean absolutely nothing if people don't click on them in the first place, right? So Jimmy shifted from making raw, unedited thumbnails to this clinical, almost ruthless deconstruction of human psychology just to drive up his click-through rates. On one hand, he uses a no-clutter strategy. This strips away all background noise to cleanly and hyper-focus your brain on the main character. On the other hand, there's his small and big strategy. He juxtaposes massive objects, like the world's largest Lego tower, against a normal human size right in the foreground. Since our brains have an accurate image of human scale, seeing this instantly shocks the viewer's brain into clicking the video. It's brilliant. He even weaponized high-contrast color theory. Jimmy is meticulously calculated. He would literally manipulate the colors in editing, taking what was actually a white wall in real life and turning it pitch black in the thumbnail. Why? Simply so his bright orange clothing would forcefully grab your visual attention. Every single pixel was analyzed and optimized just to secure a single click. Section 4, the retention masterclass and the leaked minute-by-minute blueprint. But getting that click is only half the battle. The rest is all about retention. According to his genius, leaked internal blueprint, which was meticulously designed for his videos that averaged about 13.5 minutes in length, Jimmy knew a harsh truth. On YouTube, 30 to 50% of an audience drops off in the very first minute. So the crucial point is he circumvents this by instantly delivering on the title's promise in the first 10 seconds. If the thumbnail says he's helping 1,000 deaf people hear, the first person gets their hearing aid in the first 10 seconds, which instantly satisfies the viewer. As the timeline progresses from minutes 1 to 3, he uses rapid story progression to prevent any chance of boredom. Then, right at the 3-minute mark when attention usually starts wandering, he throws in major re-engagement. We're talking massive, unexpected twists, like literally dropping a house from a crane. He uses the middle of the video to build deep character stakes. And then, the absolute second the video reaches its final resolution, it ends abruptly. No long goodbyes. This perfectly preserves every possible second of viewer retention. And the real-world results of this scientific blueprint, they're just staggering. By 2024, this exact formula yielded over 300 million subscribers, pushing him to the absolute peak of the YouTube world. He launched a better-for-you chocolate brand called Feastables, built a YouTube analytics tool called Viewstats, and even signed a $100 million show with Amazon Prime. He was generating billions of views and vast wealth. Section 5, Controversy and Vindication. The supreme ordeal of the YouTube king. But look, every hero's journey has a supreme ordeal, right? In mid-2024, a former employee named Dawson French released some explosive allegations against MrBeast, which sparked millions of dislikes and the trending hashtag #BoycottMrBeast. It was alleged that stunts were faked with CGI, that the charities were fake, and that prizes weren't actually paid out. However, when we impartially look at the public data and third-party audits, a completely different reality emerged. The CGI shredder stunt? Proven 100% real. Beast Philanthropy is a registered public nonprofit with publicly audited accounts available for anyone to check. And those prize distributions were fully verified. What is truly remarkable here is how Jimmy handled this intense crisis. Any other creator might have completely panicked. Instead, he showed extreme maturity. He waited for third-party validation to emerge, let the facts speak for themselves, and then sat down and addressed every single claim transparently, without any filter, in a 2-hour podcast. By relying on structure and truth rather than pure emotion, he systematically won back the trust of his massive fanbase. And that brings our narrative full circle today. A young Jimmy Donaldson once made a pretty intense promise to himself. He said, "Either I will become the world's biggest YouTuber or I will keep trying until the end of my life." It really shows how a shy kid's extreme, borderline obsessive ultimatum to himself didn't just build a channel, it forged an unshakable billionaire who completely cracked the code of digital entertaining. Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. If extreme obsession, a clinical understanding of raw data, and a 480p Windows phone can build a billion-dollar empire, what is stopping you from starting today? I hope you take these structured psychological lessons, apply them to your own ambitions, and see exactly what you can build. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.